Hello everybody, welcome to the TCA Museum, Train Collectors Association Toy Train Museum here in Ronks, PA. And we're going to look at this S-gauge layout today. This is their American Flyer S-gauge display and layout. The S-gauge, or 3/16 of an inch, equals 1 foot, so 3/16 equals 12 inches. Was developed in England in the 1920s. It was introduced in the U.S. in 1937. The A.C. Gilbert Company of New Haven, Connecticut acquired the American Flyer manufacturer known as Collectors of Chicago Flyer from William Coleman in 1938. Almost immediately, A.C. Gilbert started the transition from quarter-inch O-gauge to 3/16 size trains that ran on an O-gauge track. World War II stopped toy train production as Gilbert factories were enlisted in war materials production. Gilbert introduced 3/16 American Flyer S-gauge in 1946, claiming more detail and scale appearance than its larger competitor O-gauge trains. American Flyer continued under Gilbert until bankruptcy closed its business in 1967. Others involved in S-gauge production during and after that time included Schreiner, Miller, Inhorning, Downs, Connecticut Hobbies, Hobby Surplus, the purchasers of American Flyer Parts Department. Lionel bought the rights and tolling to American Flyer in 1967. Even as they were also in bankruptcy, the S-gauge banner was carried through the 80s by dedicated individuals and small companies. So here we are operating the S-gauge stockyard. Here's the fire scene. I'm really surprised that S-gauge didn't take off better than it did. In my own opinion, I thought it would have been a gauge that would have been more popular due to its bigger than HO scale and smaller than O gauge, to me making it the perfect size. Also, it being more realistic. However, for some reason, popularity just didn't take off. Maybe it was in part by marketing. We'll try and get some trains going here. Let's take a look at the log loader in action here. That's a cool accessory. Next we'll move on to this drum loader, which just basically looks like a forklift moving around. That's cool. We'll take a closer look at these S-gauge trains on the display here. Very cool layout. So yes, check out the S-gauge layout at the Toy Collectors Association Toy Train Museum here in Ronks, PA.